So I was 21 when I first met children with autism. I had just finished my degree in Perth, Australia. I was working a summer job there. It was pretty challenging initially, and after a couple of weeks I was like, okay, ready to give this up. But what happened after that was pretty incredible. They started to respond to my instructions. They even called me by my name and even said a few words as well. I was just blown away, and I remember thinking, wow, what program is this? And that's when I realized about ABA, Applied Behavioral Analysis. And then the next thing was, does Malaysia have this? Has Malaysia even heard about this?
I started working in EAP in 2009. When we just started, there was like just few hours and everything was just like we had to call ourselves like Speedy Gonzales. We have to be really fast in everything. I think the center itself has really changed a lot. Everything is just for the child, like it's very kid-friendly. I think the second part is the blog started just reaching out so many people, and I think that is where, I think for me that's why I stayed here as well, because just reaching out to so many families, especially for families who really can't afford, and I see that in EAP.
And I think what we do at EAP is we're always striving for excellence. So I think that changed quite a bit from the time that I joined in. And now like EAP has always worked towards moving forward.
I remember this particular child I used to work with. Since he started, he had speech delay, so he couldn't pronounce some of the syllables. For the first 7 to 9 months, he called me Ea because he couldn't pronounce the sound. He couldn't say Emma very clearly. But one day, when he reached the center, and then I went out to greet him, and then he just said, "Hi, Emma." So I think for me that it's just a very small, it might be small to a lot of people, but that moment is still vividly in my mind. Like sometimes I play it again and again just to get a glimpse of what some of the kids here can achieve one day from something that they struggled for a very, very long time.
I remember one of the few events that took place when we just started here at EAP was Walk for Autism event, where we invited people of the public to join us to go for a walk just to be in support of individuals with autism.
So in 2012, I returned from the UK, having worked there for about four and a half years actually. So having returned to Malaysia, I guess one of my concerns and one of our concerns here is that we are a very young field, and so that framework of governance and regulation is not quite established just yet. But definitely what I do see here at EAP is we do try and meet those international clinical standards. We also really stress on working within a team, having multiple levels of supervision, again to ensure that the quality of therapy is really, world class. And some of the other things that we do is, ensuring that we are able to provide what is required by children, with special needs.
So around the time that I joined EAP, we had our first ever conference. The reason why we're having the conference is essentially so that people who are unable to receive our services can actually come for the conference and still receive some form of training. When I first joined EAP, I didn't know anything about autism at all. I attended a kid's birthday party here in my first week, and right there and then my heart really just broke for autism. I made it a point to myself, and I challenged myself that everyone in my world needs to know about autism. As far as I know, before this, it was really hard to find resources for autism that was accessible for anyone. So I decided to use the skill that I have and to combine my understanding of autism to tell stories through photos, through videos, and just put it out there on the social media and for everyone to see and everyone to access, to just raise awareness on autism in this country.
In our effort to reach more people, we have also started doing multilingual resources, doing awareness campaigns where we go into schools. One of the schools that we went into was Help International School, and they had an assembly with 900 students and everyone was dressed in blue, and we were educating them about, being nice to their friend, even if they are different. And that's, I think, one of the things that we really want to work into as well.
Okay, who you want to ask?
Hakishan. Do you think shall I go to university?
Yeah, you can.
In celebrating our 10 years, it's easy to remember the major milestones. But honestly, that's such a small part of our job. I just wish that we could somehow count and quantify the impact that our passionate, committed team makes on a daily basis. From the hundreds of successful haircuts, boarding an aeroplane and going on a family holiday, trying a new food, transitioning to school, starting to speak. We can't even remember the number of times we've been peed on in trying to toilet train our kiddos. As of September 2016, 65% of our children are in schools and 77% have some form of speech. At the end of the day, it is the breakthrough that each of our kids make that continues to be the biggest and greatest achievement for our team. So what does the next 10 years look like? Reach. Our greatest challenge of not being able to meet all the needs of people with autism in our country will be our greatest motivation and breakthrough yet. With that, we'll be formalizing all of our non-profit initiatives and launching the Hope Project, which aims to make world-class services for autism accessible to all. For us at EAP, it feels like we're just starting. We want to increase the quality of services for autism in our country, but also we want to impact special education as well as our national education system. We have all the talent and the resource right here on our soil. It is time for a change. And together, we can access a better education for all of our children.